Mr. Choose here. I call this curriculum Bare Algebra. Let's talk about factor by grouping with a special situation, a special case here. So something different and special happens in this factor by grouping. So if you like my videos, make sure you give them a thumbs up and like them. Remember to always subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't up to this point, so that you can search and use more of my videos to help you in algebra. So once we're looking at this, example 1, factor by grouping, you're going to group the first two and the second two and see if you can factor out a greatest common factor. So in this case, I group my 2xy minus 12x, and then I have to put my plus sign here, and then I group my 42 minus 7y together. Now I need to find a GCF of these two, and I have other videos that once you subscribe to my channel, you can go in and search and see how you find GCFs. I can factor out a 2x using the reverse of the distributive property here. It ends up being y minus 6. And in the second parentheses, I can factor out a 7 and become 6 minus y. Well, remember, when we were doing the factor by grouping before, in the parentheses, we had the same two terms. I've got y minus 6 and I've got 6 minus y. Those aren't the same. But if you notice, my y is positive, my 6 is negative, and here my 6 is positive, my y is negative. So instead of factoring out a positive 7, I should have factored out a negative 7. And so that's going to be minus 7, and this becomes negative 6, and then it's going to become plus y. Now look, my y is positive in both of them, and my 6 is negative. So I can factor out now this y minus 6. So if I would take 2x times y minus 6 and divide it by y minus 6, what do I have left? I have 2x. And remember, when you're factor by grouping, you're going to end up getting two binomials multiplied by each other here. And then minus 7. So if I factor out this y minus 6, another way to write negative 6 plus y is y plus negative 6. I could write this like this. And then plus a negative is the same as subtracting. And what do I have left? My minus 7. So to check this, you would do FOIL. And you can always search my website to look for FOIL videos. First, y times 2x is 2xy. Outer, y times negative 7 is negative 7y. Inner, negative 6 times 2x is minus 12x, or negative 12x. And then last, negative 6 times 7 is 42. So now if you look, these four terms are the same as these four terms. They're just in another order. But it doesn't matter, because you can add or subtract in any order as long as you change all subtractions to plus the opposite. All right, so now let's look at example 2. On example 2, I factor an m out of the, well, let's just back up and do it step by step like I did a minute ago. I'm going to factor the GCF out of the first two and add that to the GCF factored out of the second two, and then see if I have a common factor. So I can factor an m out of here, and then it would be 1 minus 2p. So what's left? And again, you can check my factoring videos if you need help with that. And then I can factor a GCF of 4 here. So just like we did over here, my 1 is positive, my 2p is negative, my 2p is positive, and my 1 is negative. So instead of factoring out a positive 4, I need to factor out a negative 4. So it's 1 minus 2p plus negative 4 times negative 2p plus 1. Now, I didn't do it on this step here, but I should have. Let's just rewrite this as m times 1 minus 2p. And then plus negative 4 is the same as minus 4. They're the same thing. Plus a negative 4 is the same as minus 4. And I can switch these, and it becomes 1 plus negative 2p. Well, just like I changed the plus and negative 4 to minus 4, I can change the plus and negative 2p to minus 2p. That's just pre-algebra. Okay, now I look and I say, all right, looky here. I've got 1 minus 2p in both of them, so now I can factor it out, put it in the first parentheses, and in the second one, if I factor this out and this is gone, I've got an m left. If I factor this out and it's gone, I've got a minus 4. Now, some people say, yeah, but is that really, really true? Well, if you remember, using FOIL here, I would end up getting my m, my minus 4, my minus 2 mp, and my plus 8p. And if you look, I've got an m, I've got a minus 4, I got a minus 2 mp, and I've got a plus 8p. So, those worked. Now, this is just a special case, and I wanted to do a video just on this type of problem. Now, I'm going to give you your 2 challenge problems. And then with these challenge problems, I want you to write them down, get out a piece of paper, work them, pause the video, and then start the video up to check your answers. And there will be a link up here at the very end of the video where you can check and see if you did them right or not. All right, so here's my challenge problems. Challenge 1, you're factoring a negative. Remember, you're always going to find in these 2 types of problems that you're going to have to factor out a negative. 3x minus 2x squared minus 18x plus 27. So you'll group the first 2, group the second 2, and here's your little hint. You're going to have to change this to plus and negative so that you factor out that, you know that that's a negative there. And then we got challenge 2, factor out a negative. 3ab minus 21a plus 35 minus 5b. Remember, you group the first 2, group the second 2, and then factor out a GCF. And then you're going to have to change that second one to a negative to get the same amount. You don't always have to do that, but in these types of problems, I wanted to show you some examples with those in it. So up here will be a link. You need to pause this, work these 2. Then once you start it again, right at the very end, there'll be a link over here. Click on it. It'll be a video of me working these 2 up here on this board in this same tie. Down here will be a link that has other algebra videos in a playlist. So try these 2, pause it, and then let me know in the comments whether you got it right or not. I'm Mr. Chu. This is Bear Algebra, and I want to help you learn how to factor by grouping. So check out my videos, like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you in my challenge problem video.